Welcome to another lecture. So this is the series of lectures which is not a such part of your course, but yeah, these are the fundamental things which is every tech enthusiast can know about these. So after GitHub and Kaggle lecture, one of most streamlined code editor, which is with support for development operations like debugging, like task running and version control and etc. That is basically VS Code. Okay, so we are discussing few best VS Code extensions for Python developers. So gets started. Uh, First of all, before this, I just introduce you about VS Code. VS basically Visual Studio Code is one of the best development purpose ID that when you are install it, but initially it doesn't have support for Python. It only allows the JavaScript, TypeScript, and other some some kind of like HTML and other language. But however, for other programming, we need to install some plugins for VS Code to support the particular language. So when you save a file in VS Code with a particular file extension, it will automatically suggest some plugins to be installed. So if you save a file with python.py extension for your Python code, so VS Code will suggest a general plugin for that. But of course, there are other plugins apart from that one that can help you ease of your work. So today we are discussing about Visual Studio Code extension, which can be helpful in the fast and easy development for Python. So first of all, our first extension is Python. Okay, so this is this one. So this is essential VS Code extension for Python. This is developed by Microsoft itself. While creating a .py file, VS Code will itself suggest you installing this extension, but it provides feature like analyzing code for potential errors, like code formatting, debugging, like testing with unit test and other some node test frameworks, and syntax checking, auto completion, auto activation, switching between different environments, and etc. So it supports Jupyter Notebook, and therefore it considered as the very basic and important Python extension. So after this, I will go with Kite AutoComplete AI code. So let me Kite Auto Complete. Yeah, this one. Okay, so another important extension is Kite. This is an advancement in the direction of ease of writing code. Basically, it is based on AI, which is enables writing the code quickly in VS Code. So when you call a function, Kite will show the argument required to call it. If you if you will show a summary regarding it, then it provide quick auto completion and shows the only the right thing at a time. It can be used for different programming language apart from Python, such as JavaScript and Go and etc. So we can use in this code too. I have also used this extension in this code. Okay, so our third extension is basically Python preview. Okay, let me Python preview. Yeah, this one. So this is basically again used to preview the Python code in VS Code editor, and it is very simple to use and makes debugging easy and fast. It includes the like graphics, animations, and to make visualization interesting and easy to understand the status of our code. So it brings a virtual and a virtual view to VS Code, and it especially for Python only, and it helps to ensure that what you are trying to build actually getting built or not. Our next extension is Python Snippets. So yeah, let me show. Yeah, this one. So this is again an extension of Python for VS Code. Is very useful for beginners who are new to this language, means who is new to Python language. So I'm gonna install this too, and okay, so it contains built-in list, built-in strings, built-in dictionaries, built-in tuples, class, and etc., with at least one example of each of them. So it avoids typing the code again and again and again by using it directly. So we can say that this extension is beginner friendly and saves a lot of time for the Python developers. So our next extension is basically we can say AREPL for Python. Yeah, this one. So it provides again evaluation in real time. As you start typing, the code will keep on running, which helps to check it the code is right or not during the time of writing itself. If an error is found, it will be auto reflected in the editor instantly with the logs. It can be configured accordingly to fit user experience from the setting, and one doesn't need this code, and this extension automatically evaluates it by itself. So now our next extension is better comments. This is one of the yeah, this is one of the again basic and the fundamental extension for VS Code. This is the name suggests that help to create the comment that are easily to understandable. You can easily distinguish between the different type of comments like alerts, like to-dos, queries, and etc. So they are colored differently in order to characterized like this in this figure. So you can also change the color setting of the comments, but this extension can also be used for language other than Python. You can use either in C, Java, and etc. So our next extension is Python Docstring. Let me show you. Okay, yeah, this one, Python Docstring generator. This is again essential extension. It makes it easy to document code in VS Code and follow the standard format. So this extension generates the docstring for the Python functions, and you can select from different type of docstring formats. So this is supported for arguments, errors, and some other kind of errors. So the generated docstring can be formatted as per the user requirement, but it provides support by navigation. When this extension is generated, you can tap through it to add some arguments and other some kind of stuff. Our next extension is Python Indent. Okay, so yeah, this one. So this is great tool for managing tool. It automatically gives you the number of spaces, tabs when you hit the enter button for the next line. It is one of the best Python extension in VS Code that saves a lot of time to consuming in fixing the errors, and the main areas where it helps are between brackets, pairs, and extensions, comments, trimming, and keywords, and etc. If else conditions and return conditions and etc. So the all examples are here. You can use an if condition, else condition, functions, and etc. Another extension is Python test Explorer. Okay, so yeah, this one. So this is again allows you to run your Python unit test or PyTest test with the Explorer UI. It shows a test explorer in the test view and in VS Code, and VS Code sidebar with all the tests that are found. So when the test is selected in the Explorer, providing an excellent user interface and debugging capabilities. Our next extension is Dash. Again, one of the basic and best extension for VS Code with Python. This is actually an API documentation browser and code snippet manager for Mac OS. Yeah. So this is a very important extension when you need to refer to official documentation for Python. If you need to get more information about classes, function, type, highlight the code, and then press the Control H to access the official documentation. And all documentations are offline. Yeah, this is offline documentation. So the benefit of having your doc offline is that you don't need to have internet access to start coding and looking up up references, which allows you to focus more about coding parts.